Welcome to a very special KH radio programme. Today we are celebrating the life of Mr. B. We miss him very much, and in this show we will be remembering some of the amazing and fun things he did with us.
We'll be hearing from teachers and pupils who want to say a few words about a very special man, and we'll look back through past programmes and hear some of Mr. B's contributions.
KH Radio!
So let's have everybody stood up. Come on, it's the last one of the night. Stand up.
If Mr. B was here, he'd start the show by getting everyone in the right mood, just like he used to do at our concerts and shows. Take it away, Mr. B.
Clapping your hands and singing along.
He had a great sense of fun and sense of occasion, and of course a fantastic singing voice. We'll hear more of that later. He first came to King's Orphan in 2004. There wasn't a single day in his 16 years at our school when he didn't make somebody smile.
I am Grace and I am in Year 3. I like Mr. B because whenever I was feeling down at morning break, he would always try to cheer me up. He also used to teach us sports in a fun way, like whenever we were trying to learn, he used to hide behind the person and do the bunny ear things, which made me really laugh.
Hi, I'm Noah, and Mr. B's been a big impact on my schooling life because on days where I wasn't having a very good one, he'd help and he'd always put a smile back on my face if I was feeling down. In the mornings, you'd come to school feeling all tired and in a mood, and then after 5 minutes of him being there, you'd be all happy and uplifted.
I'm Aria, and my memory of Mr. B is he always used to call me funny names like Ariana Grande. I really miss Mr. B because he made it fun on Hawford and he made Hawford Hawford.
We all feel that Mr. B made Hawford Hawford. In 2018, we asked him on KH Radio what he was like when he was our age, and we were quite surprised by his answer.
What was I like at 11? Well, I'm going back now to 1970. I'd have been 11. In fact, my 11th birthday would have been on the 9th of June 1970.
What did you look like?
I had blonde curly hair, believe it or not, and lots of it. I know that's hard to imagine, and actually your interviewers are laughing at this moment in time. I can kind of understand why.
What did you like doing?
Well, it was a little bit limited then when I was 11 years old. In fact, what would happen was we would come home from school and me and all my friends, we lived in Malvern, and we would pick up a football basically and go and play until it was dark, and it was quite safe to do so. So that's what we did. In fact, we'd play after it was dark. We probably ended up not being able to see, and that's when we stopped.
What did you want to be when you were grown up?
There were lots of things, but I suppose realistically, because football was the thing that interested me most, I wanted to be a footballer.
As we all know, his love of football continued throughout his life, and he inspired so many of us.
I'm Barney, and Mr. B has had a massive impact in my sport because his teaching just makes you listen, and you don't kind of not want to listen because he makes it all fun instead of boring. He's taught me how to be very fair, very kind, a nice person, and just like him.
I'm Ned and I'm from 5SH. My favourite memory from Mr. B is we used to moan at each other who's better, Wolves or Arsenal. Mr. B liked Wolves and I liked Arsenal.
Hi, my name is Bertie. I'm in Year 5 and Mr. Bethell was a lovely person to be around with. He was very funny and he loved his football a lot. I shared quite a little bit about football with him. My favourite club is Manchester United and Mr. Bethell's favourite club was Wolverhampton.
Not only did he coach us and endlessly discuss football with us, but he also ran football camps, Soccer with Santa and Hawford football tours. They were all brilliant, and as we discovered on another episode of KH Radio, he had a strange football-related hobby, Mr. B's soccer secret.
My hobby is collecting football memorabilia. In particular, I collect football shirts and football medals. I started by mistake, really, because I was actually given David Beckham Real Madrid shirt with number 23 on some years ago, and that was what really sort of sparked my interest in collecting.
How many football shirts do you have?
In excess of 40 of them. Some of them are quite rare and valuable, and others are not so, obviously, but I've got about 42 I think at the moment.
Do you enjoy collecting football shirts?
I enjoy it, but my wife is not so keen because they're all framed and we don't really have anywhere to put them. So they're in one of the rooms at the moment in long lines in frames. My wife's not too keen on me collecting too many more.
Today we're all wearing our favourite football shirts in honour of Mr. B. We will never forget his kindness. So many of us settled into Orford because of him.
I'm Amelia, and my memory of Mr. B is when I was little, I never used to want to leave my dad, and Mr. B used to pick me up and say, "Come on, Amelia, we're going to go throw you in a dumpster." My name is Isla, and I'm in Year 4. My special memory of Mr. B is when he was always really kind to me when I was new and I didn't really want to go to school, and he always made me feel better. My name is Florence, and my memory of Mr. B is that he always made me smile, because when I was in Year 4 I was struggling to move here, and every morning he'd give me a big smile and make me feel better for the whole day.
Mr. B's other big hobby was music. His discos were legendary, as was his singing. He had an amazing voice and we loved his performances.
I'm Sophie Hughes, Director of Music. My overriding memories of Kevin are his absolute love of joining in. He would always be behind the scenes for all our concerts and shows. He loved to have a cameo in the productions, and it was always a show-stealing moment. And he was a fantastic compere for all our concerts. So he was a friend, he was always happy, and he made people laugh. So all my memories are very happy, very fond.
All together! Sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good.
Last year we asked Mr. B on Kate's radio to tell us about his favourite piece of classical music.
What is this piece of music?
It's Samuel Barber's Adagio for Strings.
Why do you like it?
That's a really good question. I've listened to it for years and years, and I know that it actually is a piece of music that the Americans consider to be their morning music. It was played at Franklin Roosevelt's funeral and after JFK's. But there's just more to it, because as time went by, there was another version of this which just caught my ear, and I've just loved the piece of music forever, really.
What is your favourite version of this song?
As you know, I've done a little bit of DJing over the years, and a famous DJ who I've been fortunate enough to meet, a guy called Tiesto, brought a version of it out, and that has just really taken off, and it was played in all the clubs all over Europe, and it's just a huge piece of music, and it shows just how diverse this piece of music is that they were able to turn that into a disco track as well.
Holland, make some noise!
Typical Mr. B. To find a piece of classical music transformed by a DJ he admired. But that's what he did. He turned things on their head and made us see them differently. He made us laugh. He always had time for us and his colleagues.
I've got so many happy and fond memories of working with Mr. B. Lots associated with coaching football with him and various successes that we had on the sports field with the kids. But actually what I'll miss the most is more the little things. So just being sat in my room and him come in and just sort of say, you know, all right, matey, and then we just have a little chat about football or school or life generally. I think they're the things that I'll miss the most.
I worked with Mr. Bethell for many years. He was here when I started. We started pre-prep PE together. The kids love him. He was always playing jokes in lessons, balancing the pole in swimming. Pre-prep PE is just not the same without him, so we miss him.
I just wanted to say how much I miss Mr. B. I miss our early morning chats. We always were in school at the same time, 7:15 in the morning, just talking about nonsense every single day. Always want to make me smile and keep me happy. I'll really miss him. The place won't be the same without him, but I have very fond memories of Mr. B.
Mr. B joined in with everything. He compared the fates and the dance showcase. He was the commentator at Sports Day. He ran Cage Radio live in Charity Week. He always had an amazing costumes up his sleeve that made us laugh in staff pantos and staff dances. But let's finish on one of Mr. B's most astonishing performances on Cage Radio. It was a few years ago when we were running a competition called the Mystery Voice.
Now it's time for our competition. Like last time, you are going to hear a teacher singing. All you have to do is guess who it is. Are you ready? Here we go!
I don't know why winning all we roll and falling green. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hard to greedy. How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you, I love you too. But dreams in the night told me I was going to lose the fight. Leave behind my wandering, my heart is clean. It's me, Kevin, come on now. So
Mr. B stealing the show again. Today we will treasure him and share our own memories and think how lucky we were to have such a fine teacher in our lives.